Okay, we're back. I have done a violet with ultramarine and the tiniest bit of our red, and then I've covered it with salt, and I'll let it dry. Pretty much, it's almost dry. And now I'm just coming in here and making some with a wash of the same mixture, with a little bit darker here and there. Just to give some texture, and with the same mixture that we already used with the burnt sienna and the little bit of ultramarine, and just doing this won't be the final texture for the fur, but this is just just giving us more texture. And I'm just using this number 12 brush lightly to just establish some lights and some darks tones in our fur. I do need to lighten this edge again though. We keep losing this edge right here, which we want to maintain lighter. So I just lift that out. And we'll just continue to come down here. And try to make your strokes in the direction that you see the fur growing. Okay. And this is lighter down here, so we'll just do what we did before and just come in with a little more water, just for some texture. Put a little texture on his ear, just to indicate some fur going on there. And we've really got to drop these negative shapes in his hair. If you can see here, there are these little darks. They really should be darker. And they're behind the little tufts of hair. So everywhere that you highlighted with your masking, just go around it and underneath it, make that a little bit darker. And that should help once we take off the masking fluid here. Just maintaining that texture. A little bit there. That's better. Right? Just darker's better. It's better to build up gradually though than it is to come in with severe darks, because they can be kind of scary. It's got some darks up in that ear, up along in there, and I'm just tapping that in. Got a little bit of dark in here. Just do that under his neck. Here, just so we can establish that fur line that's right here. And if it gets too severe, just blot it. And it'll soften it right back. Okay, and then we've got some dark lines in here, but I really need a smaller brush to do that. Come back up in here, where you see this dark area right here, and in between these tufts of hair, we have some little dark lines, just to give that definition that it's fur. Fur is really fun to paint. It's let me go in and see if I can darken that eye right now. Let's go ahead with that little straight in with Payne's Gray and get the darkest part of that eye right in there. And remember, we have masked this out already. So when we take that off, it's going to be quite severe. You're going to see that. But that's all right. We can always adjust it And that just brings him to life. We've got his nose and his mouth down here. We wanted that kind of soft. So I actually put in the Payne's Gray and then softened it back like that. Okay. Now if you squint, you can see where the darkest darks are in the painting. And that would be coming up in here. And the very tip that ear, there's a real dark spot there. And then again underneath some of these, I'm going a little bit darker, just make some little squiggly lines in here to indicate the shadow underneath the tufts of hair. And that'll be more believable when we actually take the masking off. And then we're going to have to soften that because that's going to be quite scary. We've got a whole dark area up here behind his, on his ear where that hair is working around there. Then we've got some dark areas in here. So just go around and look for any darks that you see. And let's drop those in. We've got a dark spot right here. We don't want that too severe. All right, and we will let that dry. And then we'll come in with our fan brush. And this is the fan brush that I use. This is an old acrylic brush that I actually let that actually I ruined, and it makes a perfect brush for doing hair. And I will show you. But I'm going to have to make up some more paint. So we'll be back shortly. Okay, we're back, and I made up a little watery mixture here. And the way I do this is just simply with the lightest touch. Go in here and create some fur. You'll see in the direction it's going here, and you can come up like that. And you don't want to overdo this, but you do want to do enough where it does look like that when they have their fur radiates around from this point right here. It's almost like a cowlick. And then there's another one up here that goes underneath in this way. And I am barely just touching this. And if I don't want too much, I will just lighten it like that. And it is so much fun doing this. You can easily overdo this. We are going to have these big splotches of masking fluid right here where I put my finger down. So we're going to have to fix that shortly when we take the masking fluid off. And you see this kind of goes in this direction and that direction. And if you want more definite lines, make your paint thicker. Because see, mine is quite watery. It's actually too watery for this. We do want some indication that there's fur down here. Soften that a little bit because that's a little severe. Okay. I'm going to let that dry. And then we'll come back in here, I think, and do a little bit more there. We're probably going to have to lift out because this has gotten a bit dark in here. So I'm just going to take off the masking fluid, and then we'll be back and we will do the finishing touches. Okay, we're back. And I have just gone in and worked a little bit on his eye. I'm just doing some strokes that look like fur in the direction the fur is going, and just soften that right around that eye. Let's see if I don't like that. So, there. Kind of got to get that to work down. Remember, darker under here, and lighter right there. Just adding texture everywhere. The only thing I don't like is this, but I'm limited by the colors I have, so I think it'll be fine. We may go in and lift a little bit, and I don't like how that masking fluid has showed up there. So now we just need to soften these masking fluid lines a bit, which we always have to do. We don't want to get all the these whiskers are white, so we don't want to indicate that they're not. But we just do want to go in little places, kind of. This is his mane, and my donkeys have this really, it's almost like a crew cut. They have this real buzzy kind of mane. It's very interesting. It's quite different than a horse's mane. So I'm just softening that a little bit. And this is a loose painting, so we're not spending hours on detail, so you don't have to worry too much here. He's so cute. And as usual, I'm going to step back and evaluate this a little bit, and I'll be back shortly.